My name is Don Bennett, and I'm running to be the next mayor of Kent, Washington. I'm running for mayor because Kent needs to be governed in a way that's for everyone in Kent. Right now, we're sort of an outlier. Kenton is an outlier doing their own thing. We need to partner up with King County and the state and all of our representatives, and we need to be governed a little better than what we're governed now. The main problem that's really close to my heart is we don't have affirmative action. And so our city has to work hard to have contracts, hire folks that don't look like the white folks that are in power right now. As mayor, I would be so concentrating on all the different multicultural communities to make sure they're contracted, to make sure they're working in city government, to ensure that some of them are leading commissions to concentrate on communicating with the public. I do think some of the contracts that we have in our city government do go to WIMBYs, but when you talk about 90% of them go to white males, that's something that we must work on. That's something that should not have happened. That is something that happened because of I-200. I'm not worried about being sued at all. The federal government has affirmative action. And so I will follow the federal laws. I'm not afraid of being sued at all. My team will be ready to take it to the Supreme Court. It's unjust. It's the reason why we have passed I-200 to give the privileged few another step up. As a Black woman, there's a lot that I'm supposed to be afraid of, and I'm absolutely not. It's the way that we have survived. I'm sure in our multicultural city, different races have survived in different ways and not afraid of anything. And so no, I'm not afraid of being sued. There are other things that we have been afraid of for centuries. So I do things with no fear. And I do things equally and equitably. So the way that I got into advocacy work is because our young men, Black and brown, were struggling so hard. Education systems were bleeding Black and brown kids, and our young people were running to the streets. And I was so interested to find out the solution to that. And the solution to that was education. When you educate our young people about what is there for them, they reach for that. And so I ran to the streets along with other Black and brown adults to say, we're here to help. What we saw out there in the streets, I worked in the city of Seattle late night program with some of the young people who needed more education about not to pick up guns. Out there in the streets, we adults that were working with these young people were trying to figure out ways to push them back in school, just bring them all back into the school. Well, when we put them back in school, there was nothing there to hold them, so they walked right back out. So then I decided to start advocating for better education from the grass tops to the grassroots, and I started Multicultural Education Rights Alliance along with my friend Carrie Cooley-Strom to figure out what laws and policy will help when it comes to our young people dropping out of school. It was very hard work. One by one, parent by parent, you have to talk to them and teach them the system and how to keep their young people in the system without being discriminated against. And that was very hard work because the grind of discrimination is on the heads of our kids, and the adults are trying to loosen up that grind. And Multicultural Education Rights Alliance was always advocating for parents, either through going to report in Olympia or sitting in a room and going over an IEP with a young person that just got kicked into special ed and shouldn't have been. And then through sports, some of our kids like to move around a lot and letting people know that this was legal, right? There was always a fight about a young person moving. So we advocated for some of that also. Because of the work that I've done for more than 25 years, the decision's already in my head. I've already seen it. I've already envisioned what it would be like to give opportunity to those who haven't had it. So the decisions have already been made because I have heard all the stories. I have seen all the marches. If folks are going to march, they march to me. If I'm going to be the one that folks asked for opportunity, I've seen what it looks like when you don't give a whole group of people any opportunity. I've experienced some of the struggle that cities have because young men in the community are struggling. I think representation matters. I'm not running because of race. I'm running because I'll be a good leader. I'm running because I've been a supervisor my whole career. I have led my whole career. I've been a leader. It just so happens that I'm a Black woman, and it so happens that I'm an educated Black woman, and it also happened that I was raised on Mercer Island, where it's predominantly white, where folks wanted to have culture. So all of that mixed together means I get to lead the city of Kent.
That scares people?
It does. But I've been scared. I've been scared all my life. But you still push through. You still push through the greatness. If you push through the greatness, imagine what a multicultural city like Kent can do. You push through the fear. And that's how I will talk to the voters when I go to the door. Don't be afraid. Be afraid. What are you afraid of? Right? I know. There's no other way to say it. I'm Dawn Bennett, and I'm running to be the next mayor of Kent, Washington. My website is www.dawnformayor.com.